been on the air since 1992. So, no, I'm not going to say that. Enough. But, hey, everybody.
Hello.
For those of you who don't know me, I'm Jay, and I work with Scott since June of 1986. So welcome, and thank you for coming. And I know a lot of you, but I'm sure more of you know me than I know you. We have a lot of out-of-towners here, and a lot of people from out of the country, right? So I know we have people from Germany. No. Where else do we have? From what other country? Okay, just Germany. And I know we have from South Carolina and North Carolina and Long Island. And, Florida. Where? Pennsylvania.
Chicago.
Missouri. Well, you know Scott is from St. Louis, right? Arizona. Very
Michigan.
cool. Well, before Scott comes out, they gave me some stuff to tell you. So following our little talk back here, we're going to exit the theater, and right outside there's a big red thing, the same picture that's on your program. And we're going to be there to take pictures, and Scott will sign whatever you have. And you're going to form a line, and they're going to come up to you, the ushers will come up to you, and they'll have a little sticky for you to write your name on. So we're going to do this like we have done this for 30 years. I'll stand there, I'll take your phones. We used to have real cameras.
Yes.
I'll take your phones, and I'll take the picture, he'll sign, and then you gotta exit the theater. Because, I mean, like, you can't stay and hang out in the lobby because they have to prepare the theater in the lobby for this evening's show. Not only the Connector, but their other show is the White Chip. Yay, okay. Please let the doors, the team at MCC will be here to assist you. After the meet and greet, please exit out to 52nd Street. So they're saying, get the hell out of here. So, all right, well, Scott should be out in a minute. But does anybody have any questions?
How are you feeling?
Absolutely. You guys have been with us since the beginning of Quantum. And that's why we're doing this, because you've always supported us. And as many of you know, we always give. So the reason why we want to go so quickly is because, again, as many of you know, or some of you do not know, we don't want to leave anybody without an autograph or anybody without a picture. We never left anybody without a picture or an autograph. Okay? And next, someone had a question.
I just said, how are you feeling? Your neck.
I'm feeling good, thank you. Thank you for asking.
That was bad. That was bad.
Thank you. I had neck surgery in September. So that's what she was referring to, and a bunch of you have asked me because you follow me on Instagram. It's kind of creepy, but okay. I'm good with that. You know, this is also special for me because in the audience, I have my 3 college roommates.
Wow.
We met in 1976. And we were always called the 4 of us. And the 4 of us are here. I don't know where Steve and Laura went. Huh? Steve and Carmelo were roommates, and then Paul and I were roommates. And all of us had not been together in, I don't know how many years, but 10, 15, 20 years. So it's exciting for me because this is the first time they get to see what I do and how I do it. So I'm real excited. So, any other questions for me? No? Good. Okay. Where the hell Scott? He's really slow. He's just really slow. No, he'll be out here soon. Well, they're checking. Okay. I'm not gonna sing, and I'm not gonna dance, but, so I'm vamping here. Can anybody, give me something.
Talk about Murray.
Talk about
Murray.
Oh, Murray. Murray's my dog. And thank you. They came to me this afternoon, before we went in and gave me a gift. And they said, don't worry, this is not for you. This is for Murray. I was vamping and said, God.
So you built that?
Oh no, an original Leaper gave this to me while the show was still on the air.
What? An original Leaper? Is that
Well,
an
a
original?
Leaper from when we were back then, when the show was actually airing. The
You better sit down. You don't do well when people ask you questions.
was airing.
Okay. All right. That's cool.
Well, it makes noise.
Hello, everybody.
Thanks for coming to the show.
Thanks for doing it.
I like it. I like it.
Lights up.
Miss you, Dean.
Yes.
Yes?
Questions?
Hi.
Hi.
How'd you like the show?
How'd you like that band out there? Amazing musicians. Jason Robert Brown. Daisy Prince. Jonathan Mark Sherman. What a talented group of creative people to be around, and then to get on the stage with this talented group of this cast is just amazing. Led by Ben and Hannah, they're just, it's a real joy for me. I'm glad you all enjoy it. It's a special show, I think. I don't know. Questions? Am you gonna ask?
Yeah, I
Do
was
I get to
asking,
be-
well, this gentleman over here.
His arm has been up since I walked.
I'm talking to him, so just calm down.
I'm surprised he's here.
They like talking to me and giving Murray a present. Lisa brought Murray a present today.
We did. Lena Barber too, not just me.
All right.
This
Yes, sir.
gentleman,
Yeah, I just want to say it was an amazing show. Yourself and the rest of the cast, fantastic, and the music was phenomenal. And I just would really like to know what's the process of it. What spoke to you about this play, this musical, and how did you come to be involved in it?
I don't know if everybody heard the question is, how did I get involved with the show? What's the process involved? In August, first of all, I've been trying to get back here to do something for a lot of years. I was in New Orleans for a lot of years, which was great, but there's not a lot of time between the ends of seasons to get involved in anything. So this kind of an opportunity didn't exist for me for the last 15 years or so. So, but I've been looking anyway. And in August, my agent called me and said, Bernie did it. And I somehow knew exactly what it meant. Bernie is the casting director here and producer of the show, and this is his theater along with some other beautiful people. And he had gotten me an offer to be in the show. And I said, okay, well, tell me about the show. And he said, well, it's a Jason Robert Brown musical. And in my head, I'm saying, I'm in. But you can't say that, but I'm saying it in my head. And then Daisy Prince is directing it. I said, I'm really in. And then Jonathan Mark Sherman. I didn't know him at all. But they sent me the script. And I read it. Actually, my wife read it first because I always kind of get ready to read something, and she's like reading it as soon as it shows up on the computer. And she absolutely loved it, but didn't say anything. And I read it and listened to the music as I was reading it, which is how I like to read musicals. The script, as you witnessed, it's just, you don't see a script like this for a musical that I know of. Maybe somebody else knows a script that's this dense and deep and rich and full of so much to think about that gets translated into the lyrics and then is woven throughout the whole show. It's just so good. And so I was immediately just, I would love to do this. And they said, well, they're waiting to get this kid Ben. I'm not sure he's going to be available. And he's this great guy. And everything just worked out. And here I am. And the timing was perfect. And the hardest part was waiting from August to start rehearsal in December. So I had to wait. I just said, I'm not going to start learning it for a while. And then I dug into it, and it's a lot to learn. So happily I have some time. I needed it. Thank you for that question. Who else? Somebody had a question? Yes?
Way back when they were cassette tapes, my sister got me the song of you covering, singing Somewhere in the Night.
Yes.
I'm curious, throughout your career, how much singing has been like a core part of who you thought about, who you are, versus just...
Yeah, I mean, I'm a musical theater person first and foremost. I came to New York in 1976, and I did musicals predominantly. I did a few plays, but I did musicals in and around New York City and around the United States for the next 10 years. And then I left and went to LA to do another musical. So music is just, I mean, that's what I love, to be able to do a musical on stage. And I love live theater the most. So I've been able, very fortunately, to work music into a lot of shows that I've done. Going back to Gung Ho, I did an Elvis impersonation in one episode and then I did it, as you all know, well, I did it in Eisenhower and Lutz. I did some singing in Eisenhower and Lutz. And then Quantum Leap, I did a ton on that. And then I didn't do a lot for a while, but I come back to New York and I did Romance and things. So I kept my singing up, and I kept my desire to want to sing. Even as I've grown older, I want to sing more. So, and I've always said, you know, I want to end my journey, performing journey on the stage. So I'm very happy to be here. Thank you.
Another TV series. I miss seeing you every week.
You miss seeing me every week? Well, that's so sweet.
I did lipstick.
She seems so real and genuine. Unlike somebody else.
I paid her
next
before.
time. Okay, all right. Thank you. Ignore him. We all do. For 38 years. I can't say that I miss being seen every week because I'm still being seen every week because people, you know, I'm on all the time. That's the difference in the world now is you don't disappear when you go, you know, you can find me. But in terms of original things, I've got my eye on a couple things and I'm working on some things. So I haven't given it up, but I'm a little pickier than I used to be, and I'm not getting any younger, and I had a great. That's what friends are for. But anyway, so I'm not. You never know. You never know. That's the answer.
And he's basically been a character this season on Only Murders in the Building.
Yeah.
I don't know. You never know. They've been talking about me, so it's been a surprise to me. So why not have to be surprised a lot of ways? Who's got that? Anybody? Yes. Go ahead.
I just wanted to thank you for entertaining me personally for 35 years. And today, because I never thought I'd get to see you do a live performance and sing in person. So thank you.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. I have great fans, as you all know. You're great people.
Hi. Just getting back to you identifying as a song and dance man. Your time on Quantum let you do so much when it came to music, like you said. Are there any parts of that series that you can remember that stood out as highlights for you to be able to do that stuff, like favorite things that you were able to do?
Yeah, I mean, I had so many opportunities on Quantum to do so many different things. The things that stood out, obviously, La Mancha episode was one of my favorites. And Don directing it. It was John Cullum. That was a dream, and then just the whole parallel between Al and Sam, and the parallel between Don Quixote and Sancho in that musical worked beautifully. And I got to do, I was a beauty pageant contestant and got to sing, and Dean and I had fun singing together. I got to write some songs on the show. I just had a blast, and they were so willing to go there, and kept kind of opening opportunities for me to do more music, and people seem to love the music, so we loved it. And Deborah Pratt was big into the music. She was a big pusher for that too.
Awesome.
Thank you. Up in the balcony. Yes.
Hi. So for this performance, for this show, was it all on the page for you? Was it all in the music, or were there inspirations that you took from real life figures in the news business, or things historical that you drew on for your performance?
It's kind of a combination. I mean, there's so much to draw on. How's it show up in the balcony?
Oh my God.
Okay, good. There's a lot to see up there. You're getting all the floor stuff and all that stuff. Okay, because I haven't seen the show from up there, so I've seen some rehearsals up there. But you know, Daisy had done so much research, and she said, you know, I'll give you as much as you can handle. So she kept sending stuff, and one thing would lead to another, and that would lead to a question, and you dig up another article, and you read about Tom Wolfe, you read about, you know, Talise, or all these people that they talk about, but then you read about the very few women writers that were around that were famous, and we talk about, you know, the handful of them in the show. So there was all of that, and then, you know, you get into the creative space, and you're working with people, and you're working with material, and you never know exactly where it's going to take you. If you're lucky enough to have a good director who can help shape where you want to go, because again, there's so much material in the show, it's so rich that you can go, you know, I can do a different show almost every night for the rest of the run on certain lines, and try different readings all the time to just see what feels right. And again, the gift of good writing is that you can continue to experiment, but the meaning and the sense of it all stays all the time. So it's a dream to be in something that's like, oh, I'm bored with this show already. We've done 20 shows, and I'm not at all bored. I'm kind of wired every night, and excited about saying the words and being a part of the music. And it's so inspirational to me as a performer, and I hope it translating comes across footlights. Footlights in ancient Elizabethan times were little candles, and they would light them on the edge of the stage. Back then, women couldn't be in the shows. I'll tell you more later. Yes.
Hi, Scott. I love you so much.
Thank you.
I can't believe I'm here right now. My question to you is, have you watched the new reboot of Busking? And if you have, what do you think about it? I know you're not going to be part of the series. In my mind, it doesn't have the charm and the humor as the original, and I think that has a lot to do with Dean. But I just wanted your thoughts on the reboot.
The question is, what do I think about the new Quantum Leap? So yes, I have watched it. I watched quite a bit of it. Here's what I feel about it. I never knew if I ever wanted to go back and revisit Quantum Leap, because some things are just right, you know. But this is a new time. The kinds of stories that we told, and the pace at which we told our stories, and the simplicity that we told our stories, for the audience that they want to bring in to watch shows now, this is like 2.0. They're revved up, they've got big stories, they've got a lot of action, they've got a lot going on, and so it's different. So I don't compare it to say, oh, well, we were better. It's just the notion was so simple when we did it, and I just don't know that the world, the new viewers that would come to a show like that are interested in that kind of a simple story anymore. And I think that's what the network felt. And I've said this all along. I wish them all well. I'm thrilled that there are so many people working on that show and putting out the message in their version of the message that we did with Quantum Leap, because I do believe in that. I believe in walking in somebody else's shoes. Man, if we could all do that, this world would be a different place. But it's not something that is on my radar to do, and they've been generous in asking me to participate, and I politely decline. But thank you for that. Thank you. Yes.
It's fabulous to see you live again on the stage. Thank you. We'd love to see you back home in St. Louis on stage. Perhaps love letters again or something would be wonderful if you could find that in your schedule.
Yeah, well, thank you. I'm from St. Louis. My mom's in St. Louis, and that's all she talks about. When are you coming back? When are you going to do the Muni? When are you going to do this? When are you going to do that? And you know, I always say that light show comes along, you know, I'll be at the Muni, or I'll be somewhere else in St. Louis. But so far that hasn't happened. But thank you, though.
It's nice.
I appreciate it.
One person comes in.
Two. Yeah. Yes. I know. All the way to the back row. Let's come back. Yes.
Okay. I was just curious.
1, 2.
I was just curious how much you kept in touch with Dean Stockwell after Quantum Leap ended.
How much what?
How much you kept in touch with Dean Stockwell after Quantum Leap ended.
After Quantum Leap, we stayed in touch for years. I've been on his journey, and he's been on my journey, and we've been on each other's radar for years. There's nobody like Dean. You know, he was a unique, beautiful human being. He taught me a lot about a lot of things, and I'm grateful to him. And as I said before, I miss him, but he made the world a better place, and he certainly made our work space just a great place to be a part of. You know, and he joined us on Enterprise for an episode. You know, we had a ball doing that, and he did an episode of NCIS New Orleans. You know, and so you know, I kept an eye on him. Not a good enough eye, but I did the best I could. Right behind you.
Hi Scott, I'm coming all the way from Germany.
From-
Totally good to see you live on stage.
Yes. Thank you for coming all the way from Germany.
Yeah. Are there any plans of you going to Europe, to England? I saw you in that play in London a couple of years ago. Are there any plans to do a musical in Europe?
Not at the moment, but anything could happen. You know, the same guys at the Chocolate Factory called me about a year ago and wanted me to come do something. Jason Robert Brown musical, to be quite honest, and it didn't work out timing wise. So you never know. So, you know, keep looking. But at the moment, there's nothing. No, not to you.
I've listened to all the soundtracks from Quantum Leap and Romance. Is there the possibility of a soundtrack from this play?
Let's see. You never know. How's that for an answer? There's always a possibility. So that's what I'm allowed to say. So you can read into that anything you want. Yes.
I was most fascinated when you said Backgound.
Where are you from?
I'm also from Germany.
Everybody's from there. A few folks from Germany today, which is fantastic.
And I was fascinated when the spotlight was on somebody else and you were in the background, talking animatedly, but without words. And I want to know if there was script for it or if you make it up every evening.
A little bit of both. No, there was no script for it. But she's asking what happens when we're miming scenes with other people. I've got all that stuff with Brian Lamb in between the lines while Ben's singing, and then there's the party scene while they're down here and we're all talking. And so it happens a lot over there singing. Now what? You kind of find a way, you ad-lib things to each other. You can't talk, but you can kind of read lips and get a sense of what people are saying. And then you play off of each other every night, and it leads you to all different kinds of places. Fergie and I tonight we're talking about why he didn't travel more, and I told him that the new Matisse that was set up at Plimpton's house, and he said, "Oh, how do you know about art?" And I said, "Well, my wife took me to Paris a couple of years ago," and I said, "Do you ever travel?" "No, I don't travel." His wife doesn't like him to travel. And, no, she wants Cheryl, it's her name. So anyway, that's the kind of stuff we're talking about. So it's relatively on topic, but it's not scripted. We couldn't impose on Jonathan to write stuff for that too. Two more questions.
So I told you they're very, very bossy here. We got 2 more questions, and then we're all going to go outside, line up, and we'll do photos. And, you know, conversation can still happen while we're doing photos. But quickly. So.
Okay. I have another show.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
so you pick the last two questions. I'm not gonna.
Okay.
You be the bad guy.
Oh, I'd be the bad guy. So I'm gonna go with you because you've had your hand up for a long time, and then I'm gonna go with you. Okay, so you first.
My brother was the art director on Women of a Certain Age.
No way.
And he talked about what a unique experience that was compared to other shows that he did because of the camaraderie, not just in the art department, but with the talent and everything. It was all a big family. And I just wondered if that kind of translates with being a new musical and creating something new, if that collaboration has felt the same way here.
This has been a great collaboration right from the beginning. And I have to say that everybody here in New York has been so great to me. And sometimes people come in, I've been the New York actor, and people from another, like LA or somewhere, come in to do something. And there can be resentment, and there can be a little bit, they've done the show a couple times before this, and I wasn't involved in it. But they've been just so gracious to me. And one of the reasons why I love theater so much is because you have a chance to really rehearse and work and create together. And that forms a certain kind of bond that you don't get in other mediums. Very rarely in other mediums, because we don't rehearse in television. You get one rehearsal on set before they mark the cameras, and then you go. So that part of the experience, rehearsal, for me is the best part of what I get a chance to do. So thanks for that question. And it's a really, really good group. Thank you. How's the seat go? Were you sitting there?
Yes.
Do you hate sitting in the corner? You can be honest.
I got the last 3 tickets.
Oh.
Were available.
Okay, all right. You can't complain, man. Don't complain. But how were the seats?
I'm excited to see it again.
You should go in diplomacy. That's what you do.
My question has to do with the topic of the show. It's kind of interesting to see in 2024 when the media organizations that were around in the 90s are either don't exist or are like smaller versions of themselves. Any thoughts about just why now? Why this kind of story?
Well, it's oddly and sadly relative right now, the show. It was conceived by Daisy, I think she said 13 years ago. So it didn't come out of anything that's happened in this country politically or corporate-wise at all. It came out of her mind and some events, obviously, that happened in real life that she pulled from. I think that it's oddly relevant, and I think that it's special to be involved in something that has this kind of presence about it. And it's frankly kind of eerie that so many things that we're talking about, and so many things that, that we're talking about stuff circa 1996. And, we're all living in this world still where we're trying to get, why are we still talking about a glass ceiling for the presidency of the United States of America? I mean, we're so far behind so many countries around the planet. It's ridiculous. But here we are. And so that center of the story about this young gal who wants to just get a story published, it seems so, well, why couldn't you do that? That didn't happen then. And sadly, how many women are running magazines? A few now. A few. But it's not easy. It's still not easy. The diversity issue is in our face and needs to be in our face until we get it right. And this is a show that can help push that a little bit, I hope. So I thank you all. Thank you.
So again, just to remind you, when you exit the theater, you'll create this line. There'll be people out there to help you. They'll have little stickies so you can write your name on the sticky pads, and we'll take pictures and sign all at the same time.
Yes.
And again, thank you in advance for working with us to make that all happen quickly, because as Scott said, he does have another show to do tonight.
And I don't want to offend anybody by putting a mask on, because I got to get to opening night. And that's Monday night, and after Monday night, then I just shut down.
Thank you,
Thank you
guys.
all.
I'll take the picture.